welcome. You are watching Nonsense Talk News and I am Pallab Ghosh with you. Well, after a long time indeed. Well, today, as you all know, entire world is concerned and seriously talking about Nepal. I was watching the videos, reels, going through the editorials since past few days on social media as well as international press and of course Indian news television. More or less I agree with everybody because I feel that the entire situation would not have arisen if Nepal, the government in Nepal would have understood the power of the common man. Perhaps situation would not have occurred if they didn't try to suppress the raising voices, the protest. And of course, this entire situation reminds us of Sri Lanka. In fact, if you take a close look at both of the situation that has arisen, you will find that both Nepal and Sri Lanka have the same model and the protest, the style of protest, the model of protest, the aggression, everything are identical. Now, I really don't know why politicians don't understand this thing, that you need to pay attention, you need to pay heed to the protest, to the uprising. Because when common man or your voters, your electorates protest, raise their voices against you, you cannot just shut them out. You cannot just tell them that, come on, shut up. We are the rulers. Those days of dictatorship are gone. And thank God, those black days of dictatorship has almost ruined those countries. Here, of course, I would like to take the name of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. People may say, I am a bhakt, but this is not about bhakti. This is about a practical, the reason I am taking the name of Prime Minister Narendra Modi is because Prime Minister Narendra Modi has all through tried to stay connected with the youths, with teenagers, with school students, with college students, either through his Mann Ki Baat or the numerous interactions that he conducts from time to time. I agree. He is not a media savvy person. He doesn't give press conferences. We journalists have our grievances, but he is one of those leaders who respect the voice of the common man. He respects the views, the opinions of youngsters, teenagers, youths, the future of tomorrow. And because of this, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in spite of so many criticism, so many, the opposition has always tried to malign him, say what and what not against him, but he is still the most favorite political leader of the masses. And this is a very big thing. Because at the end of the day, a politician needs the support of the masses. Either he gains it through power, through force, or through love. In Narendra Modi's case, he attracts the attention, the glare, because of people's love, adulation. This is something. Well, coming back to Nepal, as I said, the situation would not have perhaps arisen had the government in Nepal took people seriously. But anyway, now it's uh, a forgotten story. What could have been done, what they could have done, what they should have done, because Nepal is burning. And protesters had set the houses of Prime Minister Oli, President Ramchandra, and of course, former Prime Ministers. Deoba and Prachanda. They have damaged the properties, they have damaged the government installations. When I say this, I do not support this kind of agitation at all. I had said this earlier in Sri Lanka also, in Bangladesh also. You can raise your protest, you can raise your grievances, you can shout out, you can scream, you can raise finger, but you have no right to damage or vandalize the government property, because the government property is not your property. It is the outcome of taxpayers' money. Of course, you are a part of that, but you don't have the right to vandalize. But as I said, all ifs and buts, what should have been done, what could have been done, are now a forgotten story. New regime is waiting to come in Nepal, and once again, the Nepal, which actually came up all of a sudden, I mean, a totally different identity. Don't forget, it was Prime Minister Narendra Modi who first took the initiative to send rescue to Nepal during earthquake. But what Nepal did, Nepal didn't even acknowledged the gesture with gratitude. We Indians are not gratitude hungry, or we don't want thanks. But Nepal created a narrative, anti-Indian narrative. Don't forget the earlier days when India and Nepal shared a wonderful relationship. In fact, both the countries were like twin brothers, twin sisters. Even today, people visit Nepal, they go via road, but there is a fear factor among the tourists today. Anyway, new regime is coming, and once again we are going to see a new Nepal emerging. And as many are posting that once again the only Hindu country, the only Hindu Rashtra, Nepal, is fast emerging. Perhaps we will not, in fact, be able to see a lot of things that prevailed in Nepal from the nostalgic point of view, from the tourism point of view. But still, I'm sure the new Nepal will relate to the old sentiments, to the old emotions, And last but not the least, this Nepal, this new Nepal regime will emerge as a friend of India. And once again, the friendship between India and Nepal will strengthen. With this, I sum up this video. But at the end, before summing up, I just have only one thing to say. And this is, I think, ringing an alarming bell for all the politicians who try to suppress the rising voice, the uprising. Don't do this. Don't do this, because this will become a boomerang for you that will ruin your own throne, like it did in Sri Lanka, partly in Bangladesh, and of course, now in Nepal. Whenever people protest, whenever there is an uprising, remember, you need to pay attention, you need to hear their grievances. Well, that's all for today. I wish and hope New Nepal will emerge as a friend of India. Both India and Nepal will once again be able to relate and will once again be able to build the old bilateral and friendly ties among themselves. This is Pallab Ghosh signing off for Nonsense Talk.